Hello friends, I'm going to start a course in Oracle PLSQL. So this is the lesson 1 I'm starting as an introduction to PLSQL programming. Okay. So to give an overview, basically this document will give an idea about the concepts covered in introduction to PLSQL. Okay. So what is PLSQL to the beginner level PLSQL training kind of material, so you can make use of it and understand better about PLSQL. Okay, so let us jump into understand what is PLSQL here. PLSQL is like a procedural language, structured query language. It's a Oracle Corporation procedural extension to SQL. It's like a proprietary software. It's embedded in Oracle database itself. Okay, so it's like a completely procedural. So it's a combination of SQL and procedural programming concepts. Okay, so normally if you go to command line or any tool, any IDE tool, like if you go and fire SQL statement, what will happen? It's a single command, you will run it. But whereas if you want to achieve a block of statements, okay, that is where the procedural construct is required as a PLSQL. Okay, so that will block of statement, it will be executed when you write efficiently and secured and stored in a database level. It's like a subprogram like procedure, function and packages kind of thing. We are going to discuss slow and steadily. So that can be reusable. So for any application development, that program can be called from the client, like application or any IDE tool. Then the client request will come to the database and database will perform the operation and it will return back to the client the results. So that's how it works in eye level. Okay, why we use PLSQL? Okay, so here so basically it's like to design overcome a limitation in the plain SQL statement, like I explained before, because like a single statement, correct? It's suppose we can declare a variable means like during the course of execution of the block statement, correct? It is changeable. That is what variables and loops and conditions, everything like a program flow, you can define it. So that is where the procedural statement will help you to define the block, execution block. Okay, and also the main important thing is it will reduce the network traffic, because when you execute the code again it will go back to the database server, and if you fire a different SQL, it will go and search in database server. So it will take a lot of network traffic, right? That will be reduced because it's stored right already in the database level. It's reusable, so that way it will reduce the network traffic. And eye level, I'm giving an idea. Okay, and also it improves the performance through the block execution, like we discussed before. Okay, then the most important thing, you can modular programming, like a procedural function and combination of all these things put together called packages. So it will be stored in memory and it can be called any number of times. Okay, so let's not jump into so much of in detail as introduction. Slowly we'll get into it. Okay, this is a very first lesson, correct? Okay, let us jump into how the architecture look like. Okay, basically if you group into SQL and PLSQL, SQL is like a declarative. It is executed one statement at a time, correct? And there is no control structures, like there is no control, like you plain SQL, you run it and you will get the results from the database server. But whereas it's like a procedural, once it is defined and stored in the database, it's a procedural. You can call it anytime for application use or wherever you want it. Okay, then it's execute the block of statements. So like we mentioned, it can be the block, the procedural statement. It's a combination, correct, like we discussed before. So it will execute and it will give the final result back to the client call. Okay, and it will it supports the loops and condition. Okay, so now that again, like the part of architecture, if you want to elaborate a little more extra, the PLSQL engine in the background, correct, it will help you to, it will group. Basically it's a combination of SQL statement and PLSQL statements, correct? So like when we say SQL statements, it's like a select, insert, update, delete, correct? So those all are SQL statements when you part of the program, when you define it in the execution block. So that's how it is called SQL statement, correct? And if there is any conditional construct like if, loop, and so all those conditional PLSQL units, correct, it will be handled part of PLSQL engine. So this put together, this all inside the execution block is, it's called it's executed and returned back to the client, correct? So this is what PLSQL engine handles it. Like, let us quickly jump in how PLSQL engine architecture works in the background. Okay, so this is how does the PLSQL engine works. So basically, when the PLSQL block, right, in a procedural construct, the PLSQL block, when you run it, like, to give an idea, so if I'm this is the block statement, okay, v underscore test, okay. So this is, so I'm trying to count the number of records from employee table, okay. So this is one small construct I'm writing for our demonstration. If I run through here, if you see here, this is variable declaration defined as a scalar data type, okay, and this is the select statement. It will go to PLSQL engine, okay, and this will execute this PLSQL units like a if block, okay. So if I run it, what will happen? It will try to find the result. You see that number of employees found 107. Okay, let us go back to the thing, like basically how this particular PLSQL block works in the background. So basically, client, this is the client, the SQL developer where I am running is one of the use case, like we can understand. So this is the client. Basically, client sends the PLSQL block. Here in this case, SQL developer is my client, okay. From the client, I am just running the PLSQL block. So this is the PLSQL block construct, I am running it. So from this, what you can understand, it will try the PLSQL engine, correct? This is the PLSQL engine. You can understand the architecture, correct? Like from this, basically what will happen, it will try to pass the entire block. So when it passes, correct, it will try to separate procedural units and SQL units. So here the SQL units, this is the SQL unit, okay. Okay, but this is and all the variables and if condition, everything, right? This is comes under PLSQL unit. So what will happen in the execution block, the very first most here you see, like it will try to variables, everything, correct? Like so but the select statement here, correct, like it will go to the SQL engine, okay. SQL select statement, like insert, update, everything, it will go, it will pass, and it will return back to the PLSQL engine, okay. This is second step, it will try to pass it. So but inside the procedural codes execute, so we can see, like I mentioned, variables, control flow and subprograms, correct. So here in this use case, we are defining variables and the control flow also I given here. This is one good use case of control flow, okay. Then the fourth step, you can see that SQL statement push to SQL engine. So wherever the SQL statement comes in picture, correct, it will directly push into SQL engine. So from this diagram you can understand. So it will come to here, it will try to pass that, okay. So it will try to So when the SQL statement passes, that time what will happen, the block will pass the PLSQL execution temporarily. Then it will try to wait for the response from SQL engines. Upon completion of SQL statement, it will go back to the next PLSQL units. Here in this case, if clause correct, it will try to then the SQL. But like when the SQL statement runs in SQL engine, correct? So what exactly happens as a step 5? You can see it here. It will try to parse the SQL. So this SQL, right? It will try to parse it. If it is already cached, if it is already there in the memory, in the library library cache, it is already there. It will try to from the share pool, correct? Like the library cache, like if you try, it will try to check it in the memory, SGA memory. Okay, so if it is there, so it will not try to parse it. So otherwise, right, it will try to parse it. Then it will try to optimize, like all these things. If it is not in memory, it will do that. So it will try to find a better execution plan, okay, for this particular SQL statement the first time. So then if the data block, right, the database buffer cache, right, so it will try to check it. It is already there in the memory from the database buffer cache here. Okay, if it is there, then it will take from the memory. Otherwise it will go and search it from the data file, okay, from the database, okay, the physical file. Then it will store it in that time, and the future use it will take it from the memory. So finally the count will be returned. This count, right, it will be returned to the variable. Okay, so it will be stored. So that time what will happen, this is what I told. Once the SQL statement execution is completed, it will return back to the PLSQL engine. Then the PLSQL engine resume the execution. So if you jump into step number 6, what will happen? So actually results return to the PLSQL engine. Okay, like I mentioned, SQL engine returns the results to the PLSQL, correct? So PLSQL engine will values to the it will assign the values to the variable, and execution resumes. Okay, so but in this case, much procedural is very simple. Means like that's it. Like the conditional flow, it will complete the execution and finish. It will return back to the client. This is what happens. Like this is how. This is one small example I gave it. Like if there is a big chunk of program, what will happen? This SQL statement to PLSQL engine, correct? It will handshake each other. It will try to finish it. This is where so this repeated process, correct, between SQL engine and PLSQL engine. This is called context switching. Okay, this to and fro of handshake between PLSQL to SQL to PLSQL again. This is called context switching, like I mentioned, correct? The too many context switches, correct, it will degrade the performance. That is and all occurs like performance optimization topic as a separate we'll discuss. So this is what to give an idea. So how the architecture in reality it will work in the background. So finally the execution completes. PLSQL engine finishes the execution. Control returns to the client. Transaction stored or rollback based on the commit or rollback statements issued. Okay, so this is how the PLSQL engine works in the background. So this is the quick idea behind the architecture. Okay, so now jump into the structure of PLSQL block. So how the structure look like? So already I gave an idea like how the structure, one small construct I gave it, correct? So declare block. So declare block is variable constants you can declare. So in this case itself you can understand. Okay, but this is the optional block. It's not necessary or mandatory block. But the begin execution statement block is right. That's a mandatory block. Okay, and the exception to handle error handling, like for any exception, like in this case itself, like the table is not exist, the variable not correctly defined, or any too many rows, or so many different type of exception, or it can be a user handled exception or business rules handled exception. All those things future videos we can discuss. Okay, this is how the structure look like. Okay, so on sample construct also I gave it like how it look like in same way. So okay, then the PLSQL variable, like what kind of variable you can define scalar data types, like it's like it will store a single value at a given point of time. It can be different data types like number, varchar2, or date, or boolean. Okay, so number is a numeric values, and varchar2 is like a character data, and date is a date and time, and boolean is true or false. Okay, and it must be declared before use, and case sensitive, case insensitive, and assigning using colon is equal to. So how I assigned it, like if you want to assign anything, like for example if I want to initialize, like see, you have to, this is the way you have to assign it. Okay, so then output PLSQL, so used to display message request set server output on. So you see that set server output on to return the messages. Okay, display the messages. And control structure, how it look like, if you single if and else block, this is what it is. If you handle multiple condition inside the control flow, you can define like that, if else or else if, or loop construct like loop, while loop, or for loop. Okay, and error handling, it handles runtime error or prevents abnormal execution. So that's what we will discuss all these things in our future video. So this is how it look like. Okay, so for example if I try to give an idea, one quick idea, so others is okay, so device error, so device error is 0, so I'm arising a purposely one exception to see that how it is been handled exception. Okay, we'll discuss more in detail in our future video, but okay, so this is about the introduction of PLSQL, with the PLSQL, how it works, the structures, a variable it handles, and where PLSQL use. Also here you see the store procedure, function, triggers, package, Oracle forms and reports is the Oracle proprietary software, but the various application they can use it. So so basically like PLSQL, it extends the SQL with the procedure features, programs written in the blocks, improves the performance and security, all these features. It is really helpful. Okay, so if you have any questions in this topic, please let me know. I'll answer your question. Okay, thanks for watching my video. We'll connect in the future lessons. Thank you. Bye.